Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, including Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, and Rick and Morty. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Sam Quattro.
Hello.
Today, Sam and I will be discussing the latest episode of Steven Universe, When It Rains, our continuation of last week's Peridot arc, I guess, which had the very vague description.
The whole show was a paradox now.
Yeah, and this episode kind of seemed like a filler one from the description, which we had a few weeks ago, but it turns out that was just vague in order to disguise the fact that the events of last week, I guess. So we'll get into that, all the details revealed about this, and also briefly into the short that came out today, I guess. They do these little shorts that they release, I guess, on Cartoon Network's website.
Classroom Gems.
Yeah, the Classroom Gems. So we'll talk about that briefly, too. We cover Steven Universe every week, and you can get all the information about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. So, Sam, let's get right into this. What did you think of When It Rains?
It was an episode. I think Peridot's really cute. I really like Peridot. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't here for last week's discussion since I was doing stuff. But yeah, I liked last week's episode better in terms of what was going on. I thought it's like a good continuation of it, I guess. But I feel like watching those episodes back to back would have been better. You know?
Yeah, that's possible. I could see that. It definitely seems like a two-parter, which is interesting for the show.
Yeah.
I think I like this week's better than last week's. I mean, they're basically just, this is like a continuation, like you said. So, I don't know. I'm always a big fan of things happening, and things happened this episode. Yay! We actually learned what's going on, kind of. Even though it's incredibly, like, vague-ish. I don't know. Like, we learn everything about the cluster. I like how Peridot interacts with Steven. Like, there's a lot of speculation prompted by last week's AV Club review that we're now on a Peridot Zuko arc where Peridot turns good. And I expressed extreme skepticism at that, right? But I heard a lot of feedback saying people generally agreed. But then I think the correct answer is a more nuanced take, which is that Peridot could come around to Steven, which he does in one episode, which, okay, it's fine. They convinced me. Because the entire point of this episode is getting Peridot to come around to Steven. And then I guess what the episode does at the end is make this very artificial situation, which gets her to at least cooperate with the crystal gems. Like, this is you would expect this to be staged by the gems and Steven, right? Because it's just the ideal scenario for them, but it's not. It happens fast and a little unbelievably. But the main point is, I still don't think Peridot's like a good guy. The main problem is that she's never going to come around to the crystal gems ideology involving the homeworld. I could just never see that happening. So that's why I was extremely skeptical of this being a Zuko arc, from Avatar: The Last Airbender, of course. But I like how they've handled this in terms of Peridot coming around to Steven. I think it was really cute. Peridot was great in this. Steven was also great. And I liked how this episode functioned. I think it was a good, basically, when you're charting out the season, this is the Peridot comes around to Steven episode, and I think they do a good job of that. I'm a little more skeptical of the elements of it involving this also progressing the story to the point where Peridot and the Crystal Gems join forces to stop the cluster. Voices, yeah, to stop this.
Voices with the cluster.
Yeah, to stop the cluster. I'm a little more skeptical of that element of it. Like, I think it happens a little bit fast at the end. I also am not completely sure why Peridot is so intent on stopping the cluster. Like, I know her life is at risk.
Because she's trapped on Earth.
Yeah, but it seems a little bit selfish compared to what we've seen from her in the past. She's all about, like, the homeworld. And this seems not good for the homeworld.
I don't know.
Right? I don't know.
Well, the homeworld, like, they made the cluster, right?
Yeah, so why does she want it? It seems like she only wants to stop it for her own sake.
Exactly.
Which, I don't know. I don't know if that gels with what we've seen of her in the past.
We barely know who she is.
We do barely know, you're right. But so this would indicate maybe she's more willing to turn on the homeworld than we would think, although I'm still really skeptical of her ideology changing. Yeah, so I guess the big things about this episode are what we learn. Let's go over what we learned about the cluster first, plot wise. Even though I don't think that's the big point of the episode, as usual with the show, it's the characters, not the plot developments, which are important.
Yeah.
So the cluster is okay. So the story Peridot says is when they determined Earth was not a suitable colony. I'm not. Did we have we heard the homeworld wanting to colonize Earth before? Was that a
Not
thing?
really, no.
Yeah, that might be new information. I'm not sure though.
That might be just like something I heard in a fanfic once.
That's the thing. A lot of people like the short that came out today. Let's mention it now. The big information is that all gems are artificially created. This is something that I've always believed, but it's something that the show has really never said. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is not new. We know the gems were created in kindergarten." And I think a lot of people just assume things are true in the show. But the show gives us very little information. The idea that the gems are a biologically organic species and they're just creating new ones on Earth was still a very relevant theory, and potentially the favorite theory, right? The most plausible theory until now, until we get this video. And I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, this is just something that we already knew. No, it's the show never tells us anything. This is completely new information. The gems are mechanically created, and I mean, it's hard to take too much information from the short. You guys should go watch that if you have not. I guess it's on Cartoon Network's website.
The gems aren't babies.
They said they're never babies. They all grow in the ground. Like we knew that about the ones that are born on Earth, sure, but we didn't know that. The non amethyst crystal gems and everyone on the homeworld was created that way, right? So they're created. They're not. They're made. They're not born. I think Amethyst says that here. And that's
Like heroes. Heroes are made. They aren't born.
yes, much like heroes. And this is big news, right? This means that the gems are essentially robots and artificial intelligences. Confirmed. The gems are artificial intelligences. I am absolved in my theory. This is what this short says. Gems are, if you've seen, and people, it's like, oh, what's the big deal? This is a huge deal. I mean, have you seen Her recently? Have you seen Ex Machina? That's the gems, right? This is crazy.
Okay, Dylan.
In a sufficiently advanced society, that might be indistinguishable from biological life, but it's a big deal. So my big thing then is, if the gems were made, who made the gems? That's the next question, right?
We did.
So me and Sam's theory is that the humans did. I'm not sure if this episode supports that or not. It's interesting. The colonization of Earth thing. So one thing that the short also says, the other notable thing, and I was talking to Kathy about this, and she has very astutely pointed out that the gems say that when they plant gems in the ground in order to grow or whatever, they don't use that terminology, but when they do that, it saps the life force out of the place where they're growing. So in theory, they're killing Earth when they make gems in kindergarten. Yeah, so that's not good. But so the question is, are they colonizing Earth in order to sap the life force out of it? Is that why they need to constantly colonize? And this is something that could potentially support our alternate Earth theory, as Kathy mentioned to me.
Wow, it's like Half-Life. I think I've mentioned that before.
You have mentioned that before. But
it is. It's like the Combine.
If humans made gems on the original Earth, then they might have needed to leave the Earth because they sapped all the energy out of it making the gems.
We're gonna be gem slaves.
So I don't know. In general, that's Sam and me's alternate. We did a podcast on that, by the way. You can check that out. But in general, if the gems are made, who made the gems? The choices basically are the humans or some artificial or some alien species we have not met yet. And the fact that
Have you ever seen? Sorry, I interrupted you. But have you ever seen the movie? It's like animated movie. I think it's called Robots.
I don't think so.
Or it's just like Robot Land, and all these robots are like robots, no people. Who made them?
Well, I think sometimes when you have stories like that, they're never going to give you an answer. It's just you have to accept it, right? This
my
one,
suspension of disbelief is not that large.
Yeah, I know. This one, I think that we will get an answer. Maybe not for a while in the show, but That, and I think the favorite now in terms of who, if the gems, if it's true that this, or my interpretation of the short is true, and the gems are all made, who is the favorite to have created the gems? The favorite, like being the front runner. That's the better word. It's got to be humans because we don't know of anyone else in the entire universe in the Steven Universe world.
Martians.
That's the thing. It's like people are going to assume that it's just like Martians or some other alien species, but the fact that we haven't seen them yet makes it less likely. Like we're already on path for this humans twist. I'm telling you. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I'm not sure if the colonized Earth thing supports that or not. It's interesting. But anyway, that was that aside that had nothing to do with this episode, but there's involving that short. So when they're originally going to, they decided that Earth wasn't suitable for a gem colony. They used Earth for experiments for a gem geoweapon. It was early attempts at artificial. Okay, so this giant artificial fusion comprised of millions of gem shards, which is the cluster. Okay, so the cluster is in the Earth's core since it's been there before. It's been there before humans. This is a very typical fantasy type story thing. It's laying dormant, and when it forms, it will be much bigger than the Earth and will destroy everything.
It's gonna be like Galactus.
Yeah, it's kind of like Galactus. Yeah,
just like roaming through the universe. Like, how does that do? Like, what? What?
The gems wanted a giant weapon, I guess, and
does it need air to breathe? I guess not. It's a rock.
Well, no, it's not. That's the thing. Okay. You're big on saying they're rocks, and they say that in the short too. They're like, we're rocks. That's such a meaningless statement to me. Like, what does that even mean? Okay, you're rocks. Great. Rocks are not artificially made. That's the thing. Rocks on our Earth they're organic or whatever, right? So they're not actually Earth rocks.
I need to take a geology class.
They're the Earth, like rocks are not something that some being made. They just happen. That's not what their gems are saying in that short. They're saying they're actually created by somebody. So they're not rocks. So stop saying not. So
don't tell me what
not
to say.
You, Amethyst in the short. She's like, we're rocks. Like, no, you're not. That's not true.
Amethyst is very blunt.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So this giant weapon. Okay, so that we explain what's going on with the cluster. We also get an explanation what the gem mutants are. They are the prototypes for the giant cluster. So okay, there you go. The reason they want to shove all the gems together is to create a giant weapon, which is a very homeworld. Our perception of the homeworld is it's very like war torn and stuff. Not war torn, but war warrant.
What about the rest of the universe? Oh, man.
Well, why do they need a weapon, right? So I guess this kind of supports there being us seeing other life forms at some point, right? Because it's like, why does the homeworld need a giant weapon? Not to fight humans, for sure.
To fight others.
To fight other
It's like Half-Life, Dylan.
Okay, it's like I still don't get that though because I still have not played Half-Life. But
wow.
That's okay. So yeah, what do you think about this giant cluster? As like a long-term plot line, as like a thing that exists.
It scares me. Just as like a human being who lives on Earth.
Yeah. I mean, it's not realistic, obviously.
I mean, that you don't know that.
There
could be like something at the Earth's core.
No, we would detect it.
Okay. But in terms of the plot, I think it's a good
narrative function. Yes.
We have a place to go.
Yes, exactly right. Narratively, the next place to go to after season 1 would have been to confront Yellow Diamond and the homeworld, and that seems like more of a long-term plotline. So we need kind of a short-term threat in the meantime. So that's kind of how this functions within season 2.
The destruction of the Earth is a short-term threat.
That's in this show, yes. That is
still in 2015.
In Steven Universe, the destruction of the Earth is a short-term threat, and I think it will be addressed by the end of this season. We're only halfway through the season, and the episode ends with Peridot saying she's going to tell the Crystal Gems about the cluster, which means that
are we halfway through the season?
Almost, yeah. That they're going to take theoretically immediate action. After 20 filler episodes, then we can take immediate action against the cluster. Okay. I don't know how they would. Maybe this is a mid-season plotline. Actually, maybe this is like the lapis lazuli of the season.
Maybe.
That it's gonna come to a head in the mid-season finale. I could see that too. What's interesting about this threat, though, is that who is the enemy anyway? Even if Peridot's cooperating with them, and the whole point of the objective is to stop the cluster from becoming active, then if the what's the enemy in the process, right? Because the cluster's not active yet. Peridot's not an antagonist anymore. Is it like Malachite now? Is that where we're going with this, or is there going to be another, or is this just a threat that doesn't have a face until it launches or becomes active?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how they handle this narratively. Regardless of any of that, what do you think? Well, no, last thing. What do you think? Do you think this is a satisfying explanation for the gem clusters, the mutants that we've been seeing all around? That they're prototypes for this giant cluster.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems
Shouldn't
almost.
we have been seeing them like throughout the whole entire
Yeah, why are they
series?
just coming now? Because Peridot visited and checked up on it. It didn't seem like she was taking active action when she came up to check on them.
I don't know.
Maybe
Bro.
they're only coming up now because we're closer to the launch of it.
I guess.
I guess, yeah.
I guess because it's cool.
Yeah, it's this is something that seems kind of plotty, or seems kind of just necessary thing for the plot to me, and not something that makes a ton of sense. But it's whatever. It's not a big deal. The other big thing about the episode is certainly Peridot and Steven's interactions.
Peridot's so cute.
Yeah, Peridot definitely
love
sympathetic
her.
here. What do you think of? I don't know, it's a broad question, but like, do you like how Peridot and Steven were interacting here? How do you think Peridot, how the way Steven treats Peridot seems very in character.
Yeah. I mean, Steven's the best human being on Earth. Well, he's not all human.
Quote unquote human. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I just, Peridot, she's just so small and tiny and like angry, and she's cute. She's like an angry robot. No. Like, have you ever seen My Life as a Teenage Robot?
Yes, I've seen that.
There was that episode with the one, it was like Kilgore or something.
I don't know.
And everybody thought like he was so cute and he couldn't get like anything done in his quest to like take over the world because everybody just kept thinking he was so cute. That's like Peridot, except she's not trying to take over the world.
That is kind of like Peridot. That's a good comparison. She's yeah. I don't know what to think of Peridot here, how she functioned here. She quickly becomes sympathetic. I like how they play her connection to Steven off. It's like she becomes sympathetic to Steven, but she doesn't see it as her warming to Steven. She sees it as like gaining an ally to stop something that's an immediate danger to her. It seems that seemed much more realistic than I kind of thought it would be. I'm appreciative of them because they definitely want to move fast with this. Peridot cooperates with the gems type thingy, and in terms of Steven, at least I thought it was a pretty realistic way to approach it. We had the whole thing with Steven teaching Peridot about rain kind of made the episode nommer of the plot thing of the episode.
The kids learned something new today.
A very appropriate time to air this episode with this pre-hurricane
Oh
weather
yeah,
on the East Coast.
we have a hurricane coming. By the way,
When it rains, yeah, it is raining for me too. So yeah, what do you think of this showing Peridot rain type thing?
I thought it was very educational for the children who are watching, and also Peridot, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't. Well, I did know about rain, and I'm an adult. I know how rain works. But
you?
something. Yes, Dylan. I know how rain works. But yeah, it could be like a nice like, hey kids, here's how rain works. But I like how Steven didn't go to school. Greg taught him this.
Yeah, just Greg taught him everything.
Yeah,
That's what
Greg
it
just
seems
taught him
like.
everything.
Yeah.
Does Steven have like a social security number? Like, is he even a person?
I don't think so.
Like, I don't think the government recognizes him.
Because
as a
if
human.
that's a good question. Because they probably didn't want Steven's birth to be tracked, right? Because then they would see the gem and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's why Steven didn't go to school. He's not a person in the eyes of the government.
I guess. I mean, he probably still could have went to school somehow, but is there even a school in Beach City?
There must be, because Connie has to go I don't know.
Well, Connie doesn't live in Beach City though.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I mean, Sadie and Lars both like graduated.
Yeah.
They're like Onion? I don't know where Onion goes to school.
Yeah,
Sour cream?
yeah. It's good points. Good points. This is the
I don't know. Basically, Steven doesn't have a social security number. He can probably never get a job.
his job is
But yeah,
protecting the Earth. Yeah, so we had the rain thing with Steven and Peridot, and we have them interacting when they discover the stuff. What do you? So my big criticisms for the episode, not big, but like how the crystal gems come in at the end, and how it ends up Peridot saying she wants to tell them about the cluster. It seems very forced and quick.
I don't know, I guess.
It's not a huge deal, but like after this really genuine and organic, different use of organic than before, interactions between Steven and Peridot, getting the gems in very fast at the end was stood out to me as
I
not
want to
bad.
know how their mission went.
Yeah,
What did they learn?
what did they learn? Probably nothing. How did they know
Where
Steven
did
was at
they go?
kindergarten?
I don't know. Maybe the warpad has like a recently,
Recently
recently,
closed tab. Yeah,
yeah, recently closed tab.
that's a
And
good.
like the kindergarten, and then they reopened it. There you go.
Thank
That's how.
you, thank you,
That's how.
Warpad Chrome. Yeah.
That's how the. Whoop, God.
I think that's how it works. I'm gonna assume that's how that works now.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. So I guess that's how that happens. Other notable interactions of the episode was definitely Garnet. Before they warp.
That was so
One
cute.
more thing I have to mention, and then she has the heart with her hands. I love you, bye. That was so great.
I like all that loud to that.
Yeah. Out of all like the cute Garnet towards Steven things, that was like the cutest one.
Yeah.
I also loved Pearl in the beginning. Wait, who said it's like a big hunk of granola? Who was that?
That was Amethyst.
That was Amethyst. What's granola? Yeah, and then Pearl's like, I'm sure it's not granola. And also it's just Pearl and Peridot just like really intensely yelling at each other while the rest of them were calm. It's just very those are definitely the most intense characters there. Does that make sense?
I miss Pearl like a lot. We haven't like visited her.
We haven't visited Bird Mom in a
Yeah.
while. Yeah,
I mean, she's there, but like I miss all the crystal gems, but like Pearl in particular because she's my fave.
because she's the bae, the fave. Yeah,
I didn't say she's the bae. I said she's the fave.
I'm extrapolating from the fave.
I'm not gonna say she's the bae.
I mean, why not?
I don't know because I'm not going to date her.
You don't want to date this ageless artificial intelligence.
I don't think would they date. That's a good question. Well, Rose dated humans.
If you date a crystal gem, since they're artificial intelligences, does that mean you're Joaquin Phoenix from her? Does that mean Greg is Joaquin Phoenix from her now?
I guess. Yeah, I really like Joaquin Phoenix. He's my favorite actor.
He's really
so
good. So does that mean Greg's your favorite actor now?
I don't know.
Okay, this is really pointless. What else about this episode? I think
I thought it was interesting for some reason. I heard like Greg and Steven, like how Greg talks in Steven today.
oh, really interesting.
I don't know. That's just me.
Yes, that's a
Also,
good thing.
we were going to hear how it happened. The Ballad of Greg and Rose. Or Rose
Yeah,
and Greg.
yeah.
But Peridot, jeez. She don't care.
Yeah. Eric Thurm on the AV Club, the review just went up. I haven't read it yet. He gives this an A.
Okay, good job, Eric.
I'll give it an A minus. What do you give it?
I don't know. We don't grade episodes anymore.
Grade it. What do you give
No.
it? A B plus. There you go. That's Sam's grade.
Oh, that's pretty close. Okay.
Yeah, I
whatever.
could tell that's what you would have given it. Yeah, or like a B probably. Yeah,
Wow, you're not me.
I can tell.
Okay.
Okay. Notable. What else on the outline didn't I talk about yet? Peridot says, "I don't know anything without my screen." Like that.
Wow.
I liked that.
Me too.
That's me. Yeah. Just need the laptop there.
Peridot's just so small.
She is so small, and she couldn't even open the latch thing, and then Steven had to open it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think Steven has super strength.
Is that you think that's where we're going? Is that what that was hinting at?
I no, because I saw this gift set on Tumblr, and I was like, I think Steven has super strength, and I agree with that.
Yeah,
Because like he
yeah.
picks up whole human beings.
Yeah, I've seen this theory before, and this latch thing is only going to contribute to that. I don't know how that makes sense, but with his powers, but I guess it could be a thing.
He's like Superman.
Superman.
But he's not. That's not how Superman works.
Okay.
I mean, it's different origin stories.
I mean, we still, yeah, born of a artificial intelligence and human.
I'm not really versed in Superman, but I want to know why he looks like a human and not like an alien.
I don't know. I'm also not
Why,
well
why,
versed. I
why
think
do they have the human features up in
didn't there just
like?
didn't his whole species look like humans? Isn't that how that worked?
I guess
Okay, that's enough.
it just makes it easier for other people. I
It's
guess.
this is the thing Delaney and I have discussed actually. Aliens when aliens look like humans because that's it comes up in Rick and Morty. And it's something that's relevant here. Why do the crystal gems? Why does the gems look like humans? Yeah, this is
Because they were made by humans.
because they're made by humans. Is the only explanation. Yeah. Okay. It's canon. You know. Tell me what you think about this artificial. Why am I wrong? And this is something we already knew about. Are the gems being made, or am I reading too much into Amethyst saying they're made in that short? Also, I really don't like them revealing this information in a short. A lot of people don't think it's a reveal, but I'm pretty sure it is. If the show struggles with one thing, it's how to dole out its mythology, and this is certainly not the way you want to go about it. I think, in my opinion.
No.
In my opinion. Okay.
I didn't feel like we really learned anything new in the short, but that's just me.
They said made.
I think it was kind of assumed that they weren't born.
Everyone I know.
You can't give birth to a rock.
Everyone, yeah, that's the thing. Everyone was assuming this already, but like, no, they could have been born. Like, I don't. But again, they're not rocks. Okay, anyway, it's not gonna get through. That's okay. Last comments on When It Rains.
When it rains, it pours.
Is that the next episode? When it pours?
When it pains, it roars. I don't know. You look it up.
No, it's not.
Oh, what's the next episode?
Let me scroll to the top of this. The next episode is Back to the Barn. Steven and the Gems work on building robots in Greg's family barn.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's how they're trying to beat the cluster.
I guess so.
Does that mean
I hope that they have fun with that.
Does that mean Peridot meets Greg?
Yes.
Do you think they'll get along?
No. No. Okay, so she'll probably think, oh, this is the Greg that Steven was talking about. She'll probably like use him for information about the Earth. And then he'll say, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
Oh yeah,
and she'll be like fascinating.
Yeah, that's true. That would be funny if she had to respond to that somehow. Okay.
They haven't said that since that one episode and like the
No, they've said
laser
it.
cannons.
They've said it since the laser cannon. I don't remember when, but they definitely said that.
I don't think that's how hot dogs work.
No, it's not. Okay,
Like, you're wrong.
I'm Dylan Hysen, that's Sam Quattro. You can find out all the information about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. You can support our Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, and Jamie, Hannah, Fever Mitch, Cordell University, Beach Exchange, Buzz Lightyear, and Mailman. We'll be covering next week's Back to the Barn next week.
Back to the future. But to the barn.
Is the barn in the future?
There was a barn in that movie.
Isn't the barn is in that movie, I guess. The barn was where Pearl made the space stuff, right?
Yeah, so obviously they can make robots.
Yeah, if Pearl can make a giant spaceship. I need to rewatch that episode.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Yes.
That I thought when I first watched that episode?
Yes.
So it shows like a painting of Greg's aunt and uncle, right? I thought they were gay. Like I thought the one looked like really butch, but not like I thought it was a lesbian couple.
Okay. I mean, there's that one lesbian couple in the background all the time.
Is.
Yeah. So.
But that's what I thought because it was just a very unconvincing mustache.
Very unconvincing mustache. Okay. There you go. We'll leave it at that.
So we'll find out.
We'll find out. No, I don't think we will, but that's okay.
We won't.
No.
But we'll find
out. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.